Well, hey everyone, welcome to Between the Sundays podcast.
Woo.
And I am your host, Dale Satram, and I'm here with my two amazing co-hosts, Katie Jones,
go.
Jeremy Laura.
We're back,
Yes.
baby.
Woo, we are
Let's
back.
go, we're back.
Welcome to 2026. We are ready for a new year. How you guys doing? Are you ready for another year?
Amazing.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Ready to go?
Here.
Yeah.
Focused.
We're focused.
Absolutely. We had that time off, so we're like, let's go.
Let's go.
Cowabunga,
Right.
baby. Let's
Heck
jump
yeah.
in.
Rock and roll. All right.
Wait, I gotta know. Do you guys do New Year's resolutions?
Yes.
Do you? Okay.
All right.
Can you share with the class? What are your
I'm
New
trying
Year's
to think.
resolutions?
We made New Year's goals the 31st.
nice.
into
Like
the
you
new
and
year.
Emily do it together.
Mhm.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so cool.
And
Okay.
so I've been going to the gym. I told Dale already.
Woo.
Going
Get
back,
it.
eating some more, bulking.
Yeah, bulk it up.
You peer pressured.
And then my goal with coffee is to be able to create a latte art swan by the end of this year.
Ooh, I
I've
want
been
to see that.
practicing
Oh,
That's
wow.
little by
awesome.
little. So
Oh, wow.
A swan.
I know.
That's some real good.
it is.
Wrist
It's
movement
hard.
there. Okay.
It's tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
yeah. How about
Okay.
you guys? What's your?
I don't do New Year's resolutions.
Do you do
but
habits?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll take inventory of the year. Like, I want to read this amount of books. I want to be better at prayer. You know, like I'll do these things and I'll check in throughout the year. But I also feel like I do it throughout the year. Like I'll notice, like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm lagging in
that's
this.
fair.
I need to, yeah. So I have those. But
Yeah. I'm similar in
mhm.
terms of, the end of the year is a great time for a reset. So it
Mhm.
works for a lot of folks. But I tend to be more self-reflective throughout the year.
Yeah.
And so, I'll
Mhm.
make changes as I go and whatnot. So, no big, huge changes.
Yeah.
Some of the things I'm already doing, I'm doing. And
Yeah.
so, habits, you're right.
Yeah.
I kind of believe in habits, and you just develop the habits
Yeah.
that get you where you need to go. And through time and consistency, you'll get there.
You did a good talk on that a couple days ago,
Yeah.
actually.
Preach it. Preach
Yeah.
it. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Sounds
Well,
like
we don't
you-
need it
yeah,
twice, so I'll
right.
stop right there.
I also was wondering, are you guys reading any good books right now? I always love to hear
Ooh.
about people's reading.
I'm just not a reader.
What?
I read the word,
That
but then it's
surprises
kind
me.
of just like
I read the Bible only.
Yeah,
that's-
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, Jeremy's obviously the most spiritual person
Oh
here.
yeah,
But
for
anyway.
sure. Yeah, for
Seriously.
sure. I read the NASB, by the way. So
Oh,
I'm kidding.
okay.
Because it's closer to the Greek,
Yes,
right?
amen.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. I don't believe in NLT or something like that.
Ah,
Oh,
Whatever.
yeah.
gosh.
Mhm. Love you too.
Not living
Yeah.
translation.
Oh,
I'm
ouch.
kidding.
Yeah.
I love that version. So I
There's
love all
someone
versions.
listening rolling their eyes
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
kidding, I'm
Yeah.
What are you
kidding.
reading, Katie?
Okay,
kidding.
actually, my new like guilty but not guilty because it's a great habit is Audible. I love listening, and so
Nice.
like getting back into like long distance running, I'm like finding a good book
Yep.
is like Chef's Kiss. So
Just
I recently found an author that wrote a series I really like. You guys know I'm not like a big spiritual warfare like I'm not obsessed with that.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
I believe in it. I know it's real. But she wrote a book series called The Delusion.
okay.
It
Pretty good.
I'm like, they better make a movie. It
Okay.
is
Really?
about
Is
this
that good?
kid who's a
Okay.
total atheist,
Ah,
and he ends up through a series of events starting to be able to see spiritual warfare
uh-huh.
and sees like people like in the book. I mean, I know it's like it's imaginative, but people
Okay.
have shackles. And they have things that hold them back that demons use to really
Sure.
manipulate them. So
Hmm.
like, and all the demons have their names written on their foreheads. So there's like pride,
Sure.
lust,
Right.
rage, like
Interesting.
all
Okay.
the things you could think
Yeah.
of. And then he notices like Christians have lights, and like demons are a little bit like more scared of them. Some
Uh-huh.
Christians will have the light, but also have shackles. Like it's just
yeah.
it's just she just paints a really good.
Fascinating.
Yeah, her name's
Wow.
Laura Gallier. 10 out of 10. Recommend these books.
Yeah.
If I can get her on our podcast, I will.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's
That
I'm
sounds like a
reaching
good
for the
book.
moon
Yeah.
here, but she wrote. I
Wow.
mean, it was just 10 out of 10 recommended. I'm on
Nice.
the third book.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, I looked her website and people are wanting it to be a movie, so we'll see. It would be a
Awesome.
really
Yeah.
good movie if they do it like
Very
well,
cool.
you know.
Very
so,
cool.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
really good. It's an intense book,
Okay.
but
Wow.
it's good. She did a good job of making it not cheesy, like making it like make sense to where it's like, oh man, like the first book's all about suicides
Yeah.
out of high school. Like these kids just keep committing suicide. The second book has a little bit more of like human trafficking, occult type.
Uh-huh.
So it's intense, but it's really good. So,
Alright.
anyways, I could talk forever about
Very
it.
cool.
But,
How do you find out about it? You're just looking?
I
or-
think I was looking for like Christian fiction, and that one just kind of caught my eye. So I started it, and after the first couple chapters, I was like, oh, that's really good. It just caught my interest. So
Nice.
yeah,
Good for
Well,
you.
that's cool.
yeah.
All right.
You guys got to get on the reading train here.
I do. I will get back on it. I've taken a
That's
little hiatus longer than I needed to, and so that is one of the things that's going to change this year.
Yeah.
So when I start my next book,
I like it.
I'll tell you. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Could do a report for us.
I might have
Report
to.
back.
I
Yeah.
know
Tell us
my
the good
book won't be nearly as spiritual, probably, but
Are
we'll
you
see.
gonna have you written a book before, or
Yeah.
you have?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, called More Than Belief.
It's a great Devo book.
The Devo book.
Okay.
Yeah. That I want to write another one. I like to write.
Yeah.
I mean, I write every Sunday. I'm creating content,
Yeah.
so I really like that. So
I have to link the Devo in this
Yeah,
video.
you should.
Oh,
We'll link it. That's a great
yeah.
idea. Yep.
yeah, you can buy it on Amazon.
Jeremy's getting extra points since he hasn't read it, but he'll link it in the episode.
That's okay.
I'll spark note it.
I know.
I'm kidding. I love to read it. I love to read it. I
Yeah.
love to read it.
No, it's
Yeah.
great.
That's awesome, though.
I want to write some more. We'll see.
How long
Just
did it
gotta-
take you?
Oh, I don't know, 6 months.
Wow, that's
Wow,
quick.
That's a lot of focus and dedication too. It's
Yeah.
no easy task.
Yeah, they're short devos. It was
Okay.
not a highly complex book, but you still got to take the time to write. And
Right, yeah.
then I had a person helping me with editing, and
Okay.
and then we had a company we worked with, and so forth. So
Wow.
yep, but I wanna do it again.
It's a great accomplishment.
Just
Yeah.
want I just hopefully as in this next season of life, that is something that I look forward to doing more, is getting back to writing as well.
Yeah.
Love it.
So
That'd be awesome.
yeah.
Wow, look at
Very
that.
cool. Well, you guys ready to talk about our current events?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's move from writing to reading to
What?
talking.
I know, there was
We can
no
talk.
What is everybody
transition.
talking about today?
Yeah, what's everybody else talking about? So, okay, here's what we got.
Current
If you
events.
guys, yeah, and if this is your first time listening, you can look forward to 3 categories on these episodes. We're always going to be everyone's talking about. We're going to talk about what not enough people are talking about, and then we'll finish with some good news because we always need some good news. So, what everyone is talking about, and unless you're living under a rock, you've probably heard the Somali Daycare fraud. You guys,
Say
you
what?
guys up to date?
Not kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am living under a rock.
Oh, are you serious?
Jeremy, you
Oh
didn't know
my
about
gosh.
this?
No. I didn't.
Oh my goodness.
kind of a big deal.
Okay, it's a
All
huge
right.
deal. Okay,
All right.
so I don't know if you guys are familiar with Nick Shirley, but he's just a YouTube reporter. He has his own channel. He's been hustling for years. He's a young kid. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
had it, if I remember correctly, he's had his YouTube channel since he was 15.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, but he went on he's Mormon, from my understanding, went on a mission trip for 2 years, but he's come back. He's done reporting at the border, like during the Biden administration. He's gone to Israel. He's done a lot of different things. So, anyways, he went to Somali run daycare centers in Minneapolis recently in the last month or so. Because he teamed up with someone else who did kind of a deep dive, and I can't remember his name. We're linking the YouTube video below so you can check it out. But this guy did a ton of research, and it was all on the Minnesota website, the amount of money that these daycares were receiving. And I kid you not, you guys, every single one of these, it was no less than $1 million per year. And a lot of them, I would say the range of kids that they were licensed to have was in between 70 to 100 kids. They went to countless of these. No kids to be seen.
Wow.
No information. He was kind of saying, I want to sign my son up. I don't think he has a son, but I don't know. I want to sign my son up, and none of them would give him information or anything. It was just, it's really crazy. So, anyways,
Massive fraud.
massive
Yes.
fraud.
Massive fraud.
It's a crazy situation. So the FBI and Department of Homeland Security stepped in to investigate. The feds actually froze Minnesota's federal child care funding as of right now, pending review. And then, but the flip side is the Department of Human Services, which is a different category than Homeland Security. They have not confirmed that the centers are definitively engaged in fraud, despite each one receiving a minimum of over $1 million with no child present.
Wow.
So Department of Human Services, I have a background in that, if you don't know. This doesn't surprise me. This doesn't surprise me at all. So anyways, thoughts, you guys?
How long has it been going on for?
Years.
Okay.
The guy, so in the video that we'll link, Nick Shirley invites on to do this investigative reporting with. He has been looking into this for years. I want to say dating back, you'll have to watch it, but I want to say he said like 2017, 2018.
Right. Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID. But he was saying he's had death threats. His family doesn't talk to him anymore because they call him a racist. The hard part about this is even if it wasn't Somali-run daycare, it still is just as big of an issue. I think there's just people get all up in arms because it is another culture. So there's just these weird tensions with that unfortunately I think are really taking away from the actual message of this, which is, you know, this is
taxpayer money.
American citizen, whatever race, whatever culture. This is your tax money being misused. So it's a big issue that deserves attention.
Wow.
So I did have a few questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
let's talk about some of this stuff,
these are
you know?
just some questions as we dive into this topic in particular. How should Christians think about stewardship of taxpayer money that is meant to serve the vulnerable? So that's kind of a two-part question because it's, yes, as Christians we are called to take care of the poor, this and that, but what are the boundaries of that? Because then we see things like this happening. So it just is very unjust, unfair. But I'd love to hear your guys'
Well,
thoughts.
your question, how should Christians think?
Yes.
First of all, it's like, you know, this. I have a problem when, you know, Christians just blow this stuff off. I get it. There's so much stuff in our government and in fraud, and sometimes it's overwhelming. And so after a while, it's like your give a darn's broken.
Yes.
And so you just kind of go there. And we got to protect ourselves from that because we should care. This is millions of dollars of taxpayer money that, you know, is going for daycares. To help single moms, to help families with low income. Okay, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good thing. And then people are you know, scamming the system, using it for personal gain, and we have no idea to what extent. And so hopefully all this is going to come out. I mean, I looked at the news just right before we went on here, and I was like, oh. Every day there's a new article, and sometimes multiple articles during the day because the more they lean in, the more they discover. The more they discover, oh, this is like going down the rabbit hole, okay? This is really, it's way more than they thought. So it's going to keep getting worse.
Yeah.
And yeah, we should care because
it's future generations too.
Well,
like the effects of this is something that your grandkids, and this is not just a small little fraud. This is like huge.
Yes, and then if it happens here, where else is it happening?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, if these people can get away with it, then somebody out there is going to say, well, why can't I get away with it? And then it just compounds things. And once again, when evil is not confronted or when wrong behavior is not held to account, it makes society worse. That's why we should care. It makes culture worse.
You know what? I even included some verses. They're for our next one, but just because this is obviously a podcast where we're trying to integrate the word, I think this fits. It's Ecclesiastes 8:11. When the sentence for a crime is not quickly carried out, people's hearts are filled with schemes to do wrong.
Well, yes, which is why we should punish. The government is supposed to punish wrong behavior. That is the role of government biblically. Even the New Testament says that the government doesn't bear the sword for nothing. It is there to punish evil. It's there to punish wrong. So even secular governments are an institution by God. God allows people to be in place. Even though they're not righteous, they still have a responsibility to punish evil. And when you don't punish evil in culture, and we have example after example of this, city to city. You just go and look at crime rates and theft, or you know, what are the city, or even Oregon? Is it Oregon? where unless you steal over $1,000, you won't get prosecuted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, great. So let's get all the crooks to bring their calculators to the store so they can steal $999 and run out and have no consequences.
To be a fly on the wall when those decisions are being made. Like, how do you, it was the same feeling as when they said, you know what, let's make drugs legal.
Oh, that right. There's another one.
Like, chaos is not compassion.
Mm-hmm.
That is not, and I think a lot of Christians can be really sidelined by really manipulative language by these lawmakers.
Yep.
It's not compassionate to think of those small business owners. $1,000 when I had a coffee shop, that would have destroyed me.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not that's a huge chunk of change for people.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. The next question, which you kind of touched on, but what you already did. What responsibility do government leaders have to ensure funds are used as intended regardless of the community receiving them? So you already touched on that. I would go a step further and say, how do we, like as citizens, like, because you're absolutely right. This can feel like such a big problem that we're kind of like, oh, like the give a darn. What do I even do? But you don't underestimate the power of your own social media and spreading awareness, and also like writing to your senators, you know? Don't get me started on that. But your voice, like, one voice maybe doesn't feel like it carries that much weight, but you never know how much that does carry. Like, how you're stronger together.
Your voice does matter. Your vote matters.
Yes.
All those type of things.
Right.
Quit voting people in the office who don't have a track record of integrity. I mean, on and on it goes.
Yeah.
We give these things away, because we're so used to our freedoms. We're so used to, again, the right to vote, the right to free speech, the right to these things. And we just kind of, I don't know, we lose our influence when, one, we don't care, and then we just go silent.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Well, eventually, all people's voices leads to the press having to say something about it. And the press is, a double-edged sword where it can be good, and then it can also have false claims. But eventually, it makes it up to the big guys, and they have to do something about it. Or else people are going to be like, so you're going to allow fraud to happen. You're going to allow innocent people to lose their homes, to break families, to do all this. And so, like you said, I think having a voice is super important.
Yeah.
So,
when the government doesn't do their job, politicians don't do their job. Really, it's innocent people who suffer.
Right.
And I'm glad you brought that up. Why should we care? Well, as a follower of Jesus, we should care about the innocent. I mean, the Bible tells us to defend the poor, defend the innocent, defend the widow, defend the orphan. That's a pretty strong language that Scripture uses. And so you're basically commanded to care and do something. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this question, this one's a good one because even I have to kind of check myself on this particular topic because, so the question is balancing rejecting prejudice while also refusing to excuse wrongdoing. And I, no matter what, this amount of fraud is crazy, no matter who's doing it.
I agree.
But I'll be the first to admit, like, this made me irritated towards Somali people and the more you looked into it, it's like, oh my gosh, they changed the Minnesota state flag to represent more of the Somalian flag. They're really, Nick Shirley did another video in the same area, and it's a lot of like converting to Islam. And not all Islamic people are terrible people. I'm not saying that at all. But I do have to actively tell myself that when you see something like this big of a scale, it like the flesh part of me gets really irritated.
Yeah.
And I know that can be scary and not a good path to go down. So I'm aware of that. But yeah, what would you say to that question? How do you refuse wrongdoing but also keep your prejudice in check?
I think that we've moved away as a culture, as a country. We've always been a culture of immigrants. Mm-hmm. Every one of us here, we have a background. Right. My great grandparents, they immigrated here from Norway. So, we're all immigrants. And I think that people came to the U.S. and embracing the culture of the U.S. isn't embracing a religion. It's embracing an ideal. Mm-hmm. It's embracing the values of American culture. We have a constitution. Mm-hmm. We have certain things what defines the United States is not ethnicity. What defines the United States is our values, that are radically different than the rest of the world.
Yes.
And so when we stop holding different cultures to those values, this is what happens. This is what happens. This is why you must understand your Constitution. You must understand what our rights are, because we're the only country in the world that is like this. This is why people come here. So we do not allow other ethnicities to come in here and create your own country, your own value. You don't get to do that. This is the United States.
Right.
You know, and some people are like, well, what do you mean? Well, hey, stay in your country then. I don't care. And that's not being prejudiced. Okay, this is the United States of America, and we are based on these values. If those values go away, we cease to be who we are.
Yeah.
That's what defines us.
What other
That's
country?
why this is not okay. You do not get to put the Somalian flag or any other country's flag up there.
And what other country would allow that? You wouldn't go to any other country and say, you wouldn't go to Germany. I hate Germany. We are going to make this an American country. Like, I'm coming to visit. I'm going to protest in your streets. Most countries, they take you out for that.
Yeah,
you know, like that. We are a country that allows that freedom, but you're destroying the culture of that by bringing
and the
these
countries
other
that are allowing that, those countries are being destroyed right now. The UK is going through it right now because they've allowed so much immigration to take place and then given them carte blanche that they're struggling with it. And so is Germany. Just being in Germany a few months ago, you start talking to the citizens and all of the immigration. Not that anyone is against immigration.
Right.
They're not. Nobody. See, and that's what the opponents. Oh, you just hate immigrants. Well, that's just stupid. And of course, we don't hate immigrants. Okay, we all got here because we're immigrants. The United States exists. The whole country is immigrants. All right.
Yes. Yep.
You know, it's not because of ethnicity.
Yeah.
The U.S. is so unique. Every other country. I mean, you look at this. I mean, it's based on ethnicity, except the U.S. It's never been based on ethnicity. It's based on values.
Right.
That's why they call it the Great American Experiment.
Yeah.
Can values define a country, not ethnicity. If you go to Germany, you're German.
Yeah.
If you go to the U.S., we're a melting pot of everything, and yet we rally around the values. That's what makes us unique. Only country in the world like this. So, but like I said, I go back to that, and we need to start getting back to that. We need to teach that in the schools. Yeah. We need to stop teaching in our schools that America's bad. See, that's what's happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why you got people that think socialism is a better ideal.
Yes.
Communism. Holy cow!
If you guys
grab a history book.
Yep. Or go read Yeonmi Park's books. She's a North Korean defector survivor who came here from North Korea. Amazing story. 10 out of 10 recommend. But she is such a strong advocate for how the socialism is such a slippery slope, because she's like, that's exactly how it started with my grandparents in North Korea. It's going to be this paradise where, nobody suffers. Everything's free. Nothing is free. Nothing is free. You know, you got to really educate yourself. But of course, there's some aspects of certain things where it's like, yes, of course, we want to be a society that takes care of, like, the dad that just got hurt at work and is trying to support his family. Like, there's a culture, yes, where I think they really play on people's big hearts here. But they're manipulating you into saying, if you don't agree on this entire scale, then you're a hateful, like, capitalist pig, you know? And they really manipulate big hearts. I feel for people. So last question on this one before we move on, but how should Christians respond when legit questions are dismissed as hate rather than answering honestly?
I was just waiting to see if either one of you want to jump in on this.
Jeremy's thinking very deeply.
Yes.
Man, I think any response from Christians nowadays are seeing us hate no matter what. No matter how much love and grace that we have for people, there's always going to be a spiritual opposing side to it, no matter what. And so I think it should encourage us to continue to be bold and to not give up in moments like that. I think it's very easy to feel discouraged, to not pursue truth. But as soon as we stop pursuing truth, then we we walk away from what the Lord has for people when we tell them truth and stuff like that. And so,
Great point.
yeah, I don't know if you guys want to add something to that.
That's
But
so
No,
good.
it's good
It makes
perspective,
me-
Jeremy. I mean, I appreciate you saying that
Yeah.
because I mean that's a good word. I mean, I think Christians are we need to stop being so overly sensitive about offending somebody.
yeah.
Because if we do, then we stop speaking truth.
Mhm.
Truth
That's
illuminates.
happened.
Yeah, it does
That's-
happen. It's,
that's
it's
what's
happening
happened. That's why
because
we're
we're
where
getting
we're at.
shouted down.
Right.
You hate monger. See, and then we just be quiet. It's like, no, I don't hate. Yes, you do. Well, I don't care. I can't win that argument. No, I don't hate. Okay, and then you just got to keep lovingly give truth. It's truth and love. Truth and love. You can't have love without truth. You can't have truth without love. They both do
Right.
damage without you have to have both.
Right.
And so, the world just wants us to be loving. It's like, no, I got to be loving and also truthful.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have both
Yep.
because truth is what love and truth, they both transform, but you have to have them both.
Yeah.
And so, I think Christians once again they give up their voice for the sake of what pseudo peace. When you stop speaking and then people stop shouting at you, oh, that feels better. That's peace. That's not peace. That's pseudo peace. And so we're giving up our voice. We're giving up truth for the sake of a peace that's not even real. And so, we gotta, and then some well-meaning Christian calls it peacemaking, like Jesus said. No, Jesus irritated people all the time. All right, I mean, he just ticked people off, and because why? Because he told them the truth.
Jesus also told us you cannot be surprised when the world hates you because they hated me first.
Hello.
So even, just this question as they call you hate, well, they hated Jesus. Like, what would we expect?
Right. And so, asking for responsibility, asking for disclosure, asking that the government does the right thing, asking that the government punishes bad behavior. That's not hate. Okay. That's actually truth. It's actually biblical truth. It's actually loving, when you intervene in somebody's life and because they're breaking the law, they're breaking moral laws. I mean, sometimes you actually save their life because the government intervened.
Right.
The drunk driver gets arrested, gets a DUI. Well, they didn't kill anybody. They had to go to, classes, or they had. I mean, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's the intervention maybe that stopped them from doing something worse. Anyway, I'll quit. It's just
It's a big
Christians
topic.
don't lose your voice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Agreed.
So
Now, this second, unless you guys had more to add on this, don't let me interrupt. Thoughts?
Do you?
No, I think you guys both nailed it. You both had great points. So not enough people are talking about violent crime has fallen for the third straight year in New Orleans. Which is a really cool thing.
Right.
But so let me just read a little snippet. Violent crime statistics released by New Orleans PD show a continued year drop in violent crimes. This improvement came as the National Guard troops began patrolling the city at the direction of President Trump, a response to rising crime and public safety concerns. A federal and immigration enforcement operation that started in December deployed hundreds of agents around New Orleans, which local leaders also say may be influencing overall public safety conditions. Now, you always have people that are saying it started dropping before the National Guard came in. There's a lot of different opinions on this, but most news outlets aren't really covering this for some reason, but it does reflect impacts of policy decision making, like the Guard deployment. And this could potentially influence debates over crime funding and strategy that you're going to see in the next election. But anyways, thoughts on this one?
Yeah. Well, a lot of those states, not just New Orleans, but other states around have so much crime issues. And so I think Chicago's one of them, if I remember clearly. And so it's sad to see that. I remember going through Chicago as just like overlay, or what do you call it when you're flying from one state to another?
Yeah.
You're passing through. What is that? What is
Isn't
that?
it an overlay?
Overlay? No, it's
Connecting flight.
it's a layover.
layover.
Layover. Oh,
Right. You were close.
One
So
word.
close.
You were just a little
Little
dyslexic.
Yeah, maybe
dyslexia
just
there.
I probably saw the wrong words on the fly.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I should look up, things in Chicago and like find out about it.
Yeah.
And then it showed all the states surrounding of just like having high crime issues, and those are the ones on the news. But then sadly, like those are also the states that people give up on.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's why it's not broadcasted, because people are like, oh, there's still crime there. And so, but it's like there's things that are changing.
Yes.
But I think people have felt so defeated with how it's gone. And so sometimes they just overlook it, but what a great thing to hear, though, that there's less violent crimes. So.
Yes.
I think that when it comes to the connection between the National Guard and any efforts that has been brought on by this recent administration, the reason that people aren't talking about it is, one, the media is not going to talk about it because it's going to say something positive about what Trump has done. Whether or not you think National Guard troops should have been sent in. Because I'll be honest with you, when he started talking about that, my immediate reaction was, oh boy, wonder how that's going to work. Okay, I mean, because boy, that could be crazy divisive and whatnot. But you're not having news media outlets talk about it because now there's data. It's hard data.
Yeah.
Crime rates are hard data. I mean, they have the facts. They got arrest records. So you have hard data that shows that it was a deterrent. Now, whether it's long term or short term, it's okay, whatever. But when you have the National Guard there and they're arresting people and they're cracking down on crime, and you literally, the data shows it went down. Well, that's why it's not talked about.
The scary thing too now with statistics, and I want to say that this, I can't remember if it's Oregon or other states, but they made a law saying that police departments didn't need to report crimes anymore and keep track of it. So I'll look more into that, but I know that has happened, and I know that really skews things.
Oh, exactly. Because what an asinine thing. Yeah. Because now you can't track crime rates. You can't track theft, rape, murder, violent crimes. I mean, it's like, and then there's no standard of measure.
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't, oh my gosh, yeah. And so to me, that's just, again, government not doing their job.
Yep.
And it is a way, again, statistics and data.
The sad thing too is now we can look at those statistics and data. You can report on them, but if someone decides, oh, they're on the other side, I'm not even going to pay attention to that because I know they voted for Trump or I know they voted for this Democrat. Like, I feel like we are so polarized that we can't even come together over like bipartisan issues. You know what I mean? Like, there's just such blinders on because people have really aligned themselves so much with like a political identity where it's like, hey, this would benefit everybody if we used our voices.
Yeah, why can't we get back to if somebody one of our politicians, I don't care, Democrat or Republican, did something that works and benefits people.
Yes.
Give credit where credit's due. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, really? I mean,
Absolutely.
again, and part of that is from a Christian's response.
Yeah.
That would be a Christian response. I mean, we got to be careful that we don't identify so much with political ideology that you forget to be a Christian first. You follow Jesus first.
Amen.
And again, you give credit where it's due. And so if this person did something that's actually good and it benefited the community and it benefited the state, the country, whatever. I don't care what side of the political fence they're on. They're put in office to benefit people. Well, they did their job. Good. Right? That's why they were elected.
Yes. It's really sad. And there's, I like to have hope that there's still good people out there that are doing it for the right reasons, but it is a serving position. I feel like it's really sad. It's turned into something way more corrupt because you have people going in, making tons of money and staying in these positions for a long time, only doing things that benefit. Line their pockets. And I'd like to think we're all kind of waking up to see it's on both sides. It's not just one or the other.
Oh, yeah, don't even get me started where you come in poor as a church mouse as a politician and you're there for a few years and now you're a multi-million billionaire or whatever. Yeah, how does that work? Yeah, if that doesn't smell like corruption, I don't know what does.
Yep.
But we digress. Okay, so.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. So yeah, this one this one's it's good news. I mean, we want crime down. So to me, it's a good thing. I can understand where it's a little scary and intimidating, but I think unless you've lived in those areas and seen that crime, you probably don't appreciate how bad it is, and then having like some order brought.
We live close to Portland.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've watched
Mm-hmm.
over the
I
past.
appreciate it. That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
the lack of accountability. I think, like I said, I think people's hearts are just. I like to believe the best in people, and I think people that are really wary and don't like this, and you see the people. I like to think some of them are just totally deceived, but a lot of them, and they're all deceived in their own way, in my opinion. But a lot of them just have these big hearts that have like an idealistic image in mind that's not realistic. You know, you have to have accountability, and I did list a couple verses that so we can go back to the word about this, but 1 Corinthians 14 verse 33, for God is not a God of disorder but of peace. But that doesn't mean that he is about, like, he wants peace, but I feel like people are allowing disorder in the name of peace, kind of like what you were talking about before.
Pseudo peace.
Yes, exactly.
Well, there's this erroneous belief that, you know, well, if we just love people and give them enough freedom, they'll naturally do the right thing. Well, that's not true. World history has proven that over and over again. I mean, people naturally don't do the right thing unless there is a deterrent for evil. And once again, hey, we have data, we have cities, we have communities where they have pulled back the deterrents. And I mean, that philosophy is simply not true. It does not play out in real life.
Right. Yeah.
The government has to act like the government. There has to be deterrents. So, unfortunately, you know, sending in the National Guard is not a long-term strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just a quick reset.
Yep.
And maybe that's just, look, you provide a deterrent, people stop doing bad things. Now let's go back and support our police officers again, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the hard thing with these states is there's a lot of gang activity, which makes it really complex for people to want to voice like the things that they see within these cities. And so, I mean, all the threats that they must get to their families, or some people choose to live in these areas, and then some people grow up in these areas. And so I have been blessed to not been around and growing up in that. But I know family that has been in those type of moments, and it's tough. Yeah. It's almost, you know, as a Christian, you have to be brave. You have to put your faith in the Lord, or else you'll be scared out of your mind that your family's going to get killed, that something might happen to you. And so you just have to be bold.
And those problems in those cities like you're talking about are generational.
Yeah.
See, I mean, it's how many generations has it been like that?
Absolutely.
And then and now it's cultural.
Right.
How do you change that? Wow. I mean, complex issues.
Like you said, the National Guard is just a temporary solution. It's
all it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Anything else on this one before we
get some good news?
Yeah, we got good news.
Let's go to good news, Katie.
Sorry,
come on,
guys.
I'm ready for some good news.
You know, and
there was good news in that though. That
well,
the crime
that's
rates have
true.
lowered.
That's true. Crime went down.
He said, "I want better."
Yeah. And a lot of these topics, you guys, it's an open conversation. It's an ongoing conversation. I think it's a reflective. What can I be doing? What is the Holy Spirit putting on my heart to do right now? What could I do? And a lot of change happens in your own. We talk about this all the time. Like, it happens in your own community. Are you volunteering where you're passionate about, or maybe you do have time to write a letter every day? I don't know.
Do it.
You know, but there's something we all can do for sure. But good news. This one made me tear up because it's so cute. So this town in the UK unites to protect a beloved local business. It's a shoe cobbler. In Bishop Cleeve, residents banded together to protect their longtime cobbler shop from a big supermarket expansion. They collected 1,000 signatures to preserve what makes their small town special. It was this generational shoe cobbler, and he's in the article, he talks about how he does not make much money already. And so this big shoe shop that's been around, they're a big franchise, and they do multiple things, not just the shoe cobbler. They have a lot. It was going to go in, and all the residents like banded together and stopped it from coming in, which I was like, I mean, I'm all for like businesses and things like that, but I was like, that is so sweet that
that's awesome. Wow.
They came together to like stand. His picture's so cute. We'll link the link, not lick. We'll link. We'll put the link in the show notes.
That's a feel good story. People coming together.
Yes.
See,
That's
the power of unity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Power of unity.
We have like a thread throughout this
Oh, yeah.
episode.
We do,
Look at
yeah.
us.
Mm-hmm.
And the last quote from him in the article says, "I've become a part of the community now, and it's a lovely place to live in. People are so supportive. All I can say to the community is thank you so much, and it means that I can never retire."
That's funny.
awesome.
Which
Good
I
for
think
them.
he's saying is a good thing for
Yep,
him.
good
But
for them.
yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
cute. Yep. So,
Awesome.
anyways, that's all we got for you guys.
All right.
Cool. All right, see you guys.
All right. Have a great week. We'll be back on Friday answering your questions.
See you Friday.
See ya.